Alright, so I have my hair in like little weird folded in half buns, trying to make it look like deer ears. Didn't really work out. We're just going to start off by priming our skin, and then I'm going to take a glowy foundation and do a pretty thin layer because, we're pretty much covering our whole face. Now I'm going to go in with my regular concealer under my eyes on any blemishes that I might need extra help. And then I'm adding pure white concealer underneath my eyes pretty heavily. You could really skip your normal shade of concealer. Just use white. We're blending all of that in. We want under our eyes to be very, very bright and white. Now I'm going in with my normal contour stick, and I'm going pretty heavy-handed on the normal areas, except I'm hitting higher up on the bridge of my nose and kind of fading it into my eyebrows. And I'm just not going to blend this in all the way. I'm kind of using this as a map as to where we're going to lay down the darker brown shade. I'm just adding more white concealer right underneath my eye to brighten it a little bit more. Like I said, I would skip the normal concealer color and just use white. Obviously, we have to set all of this down using a translucent powder. I'm setting my entire face. You don't really have to if you don't want to. I just like having all of that liquid set down so everything blends on top of it. Now here comes the fun part. I'm going in with my Morphe and James Charles palette. I'm taking a more red toned brown shade, and I'm going to start on my cheek and pretty much cover my entire face, leaving around my eyes and around my mouth alone and my nose for right now. I decided to use a more red toned shade to match my red hair, so if you have darker hair, use a darker shade. If you're blonde, you can kind of do whatever you want, but I would go with the lighter shade. Doesn't really matter, just kind of cover your whole face and shade it in. Going in with a paddle foundation brush, I'm just going to go down the sides of my nose and not blending it in and hooking it up toward my eyebrow as well. This is just going to create a cute little deer nose like we're needing. Totally optional. I'm taking the shade right next to it. It's just a darker red toned brown, and I'm going to contour just a little bit on my cheeks. Not really necessary. Most ears don't have, contour and highlight going. Your choice. I thought it would add a little more depth to our face. Taking that same red toned brown eyeshadow we have all over our face, I'm going to take it on a crease brush and wing it out into my temple, pretty much just focusing it on my crease and leaving my lid blank. Now I'm taking a pure white pressed powder. You can find these in any Halloween aisle or store you have. I'm taking it on a dry Wet n Wild beauty sponge and just going over the spots we left bare on our skin just to make them brighter and more white. You don't really have to do this. I just thought it added to it once again. I'm quickly going to fill in my eyebrow using a darker brown shade than I normally would, and I'm not extending my eyebrow quite as much as I normally would either. I would kind of just do your eyebrows how you normally would. I'm going to quickly take a very shimmery nude champagne color eyeshadow and pat it onto my lid just to create a little more separation from that darker brown into my lid. Totally optional. Once again, you can keep this all matte if you wanted to. Now we're starting on our wing. I did a pretty thick elongated wing. You can do whatever kind of wing you want, but I really wanted a wide doe-eyed effect. So I'm creating my normal wing shape, and then on my inner corner I'm creating a little point. I would not recommend doing the little point on your inner corner unless you have not watery eyes. My eyes tend to be a little more sensitive and watery, so mine is already smearing down my face as we speak, but it's okay. If you're just doing this as a fun little thing, I would do it, but if you're going out and going to wear it for a long time, I would skip the inner corner step. Totally forgot to mention, I'm just taking that same crease brush and that same red brown shade, and I'm filling out my lower lash line, smoking it down quite a bit. You don't have to do this, just adding shading. Once again, you can alter this to your face however you want to. Adding mascara and false lashes quickly. Now I'm taking a paddle foundation brush again and our original shade, and I'm just going to connect my nose to my upper lip. This does not have to be at all symmetrical or very sharp and straight. You can kind of fan it out and blend it a little bit. And I'm going to go in with a Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer just because it has this circle tip sponge on it, and I'm just going to dot my little deer spots onto my face. Now we're going to leave them alone and let them dry. While they're drying, however, I'm going to go in with my eyeliner again, and I'm going to create a heart on the very, very bottom of my nose and fill it in. Once that's done, I'm taking my liquid eyeliner again, and I'm just going to line my upper lip, and I'm creating little upward flicks on the very corner, and then we're going to fill them in with some black lipstick. Once your spots are dry, I'm just going in with that same dry beauty sponge from Wet n Wild, and I'm just patting over them to slightly blend them in, but you don't want to completely blend them out because they're supposed to be spots after all. Duh. I'm also going to take a peachy nude and fill in my bottom lip, and that completes this look. This is super simple and easy to do at the last minute. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up down below, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye!